All right, so I'm going to talk a little bit about who we are, about our products. Preston is going to share a little bit about how our products work. And then I'm going to share a little bit about what we're interested in terms of collaboration and where we're heading. Here is a picture of some of our employees. We're based in Philadelphia. And we are a national nonprofit. We basically work in the benefits access field, and we get funding from state governments, from healthcare organizations, and from a number of philanthropies, a number of whom might be in the audience right now. So thank you very much for making our mission happen. So we're focused on benefit access, and the way benefit access works in the United States is very complex. There's a lot of stigma for people who are applying for benefits. It's a very complex process to apply for benefits too. And so there's a lot of things that get in the way of people getting benefits. What we're really interested in is creating a system where there are multiple entry points, where we're being proactive, where the whole process is normalized and dignified. And we're very interested in technology and how to make it cost effective and how to collaborate with other organizations. BDT has 4 areas where we do work. We have a whole data analytics and technology group. We have a policy and practice group that works with states and other organizations. Our main thing that we do is direct service, where we help people apply for benefits. And then we do partner engagement as well, which is sort of field building and increasing the awareness of benefit access and trying to improve the system as a whole. We currently work in 7 states, and we also do technical assistance in a number of other states, and that's the policy work and the other kinds of partner engagement. We've been around since 2005, and in those 15 years, we've delivered over $9 billion in benefits, and that's an average of about almost $2,500 per person. And so we're really in the business of doing this very efficiently while giving a great experience to our clients. And just to sort of set this up as to why rules of code matters to us, in addition to our access mission and our interest in giving access with dignity and scale, we are really interested in integrating and working with other organizations. And so I just want to put it out there that we're interested in talking to you. And if you have questions about how we do things, we're very interested in sharing. Our benefits assistance platform has a number of different products associated with it. Our main one is our comprehensive solution, which we call Benefits Launch. And this is a full eligibility screener where we do eligibility screening and bring somebody to where we test to see whether we think they're going to be eligible, and if they are, then we actually take them through submission on multiple benefit programs. We also have a number of eligibility solutions or innovation solutions that we're working on. We have a quick screener, which is for use by social workers. We have Benefit Launch Express, which is a self-service high-level screener. And then we also have an eligibility API, which is for use by partner platforms. We have a whole bunch of features. The main one I'll just emphasize is basically we have this Benefits Launch is used by our contact center, our call center. So we help states by helping them sign up clients for their benefits. And so we have a couple hundred operators in a call center that use our software every day to screen users and then apply them for benefits. And in terms of our actual eligibility features, we're multi-benefits. We do question deduping. We do dynamic reduction of question sets as the benefits are closed out. We track closeout reasons, so we know why people aren't getting through our engagement funnel. We also do estimation of benefit amounts, and we have a lot of knowledge about how to do benefit screenings because we screen so many people and assist so many people. We really set up the interviews so it's easy on our customers. So I'm going to do a quick demo here. Let me share my other screen. Okay. I'm going to demonstrate 3 features of Benefit Launch that allow us to efficiently screen for many benefits at the same time. In Pennsylvania, we screen for 21 benefits. So as a starting point, imagine a client filling out 21 online benefit applications across multiple websites. That could take hours, but 3 features make our process much faster than filling out 21 online benefit applications. First, we dedupe all the questions. Second, we do real-time eligibility determination. We check for eligibility with each client fact we collect, so that as soon as we see a client is ineligible for a benefit, we can close out that benefit. Third, we have dynamic interview questions. When we close out a benefit, we hide all the questions that are unique to that benefit, shortening the interview process. I'll show you how this works. This is our first interview page for our Pennsylvania set of 21 benefits. On the left, you can see what we call benefit cards, and they're all green because at this point, the client may be eligible for all of them. In the center, you see the first set of interview questions. So feature 1, deduping. Zip code is an example of a deduped question. All applications require zip code. We only ask zip code once. It may seem like an obvious feature, but it cuts down on 50 to 75% of questions needed to prepare applications. Feature 2 is real-time eligibility determination. If I enter a zip code that is not in Pennsylvania, then you see that all the cards on the left go red. Now I'm going to change that zip code back. And I'm going to close out most of the benefits. Let's say a client is only interested in one benefit called the Senior Food Box Program. Now you can see feature 3, dynamic interview questions. Many of the questions have been hidden, and only those relating to Senior Food Box Program remain. We repeat this cycle of collecting facts, closing out benefits, and hiding questions until we get to the set of benefits for which we believe the client is most likely eligible. This phase of the process still takes about 30 minutes in Pennsylvania, but it's much faster than the client could ever do filling out 21 individual benefit applications. All right, let me get back to my slides here. And now my colleague Preston is going to talk a little bit about the code.
Thanks, Daniel. I just want to take a quick minute here to connect that demo to the code on the back end. So when Daniel's talking about the question deduping, this is a section we can see here in benefits launch for our senior food box benefit. Here we declare that the food box benefit, when the food box benefit is in play, we want to ask an interview question about age ranges in the household, and we'll insist on collecting that information until at least one age range has been entered. There are several benefits for which knowing broad age ranges of the household members can quickly help us estimate ineligibility or give a strong indicator of potential eligibility. So in each of those benefits, we would make a similar declaration to ask about age ranges. And as long as we are still screening for any of those benefits, we will keep the age range question as part of the interview. The second bit of code I want to show, Daniel, can you go to the next slide?
Yeah.
Second bit I want to show demonstrates how we use what we know about a household to deduce whether or not to continue screening for a particular benefit. So this is when the benefit goes red. This is what part of what would govern that. So staying with the example of the senior food box benefit, keep in mind one of the eligibility criteria for this benefit is age. We have different ways to deduce whether or not a client is age eligible for this benefit based on how much information we have at a given time in the screening process. So in English, I would read this rule as, if we know the exact ages of everyone in the household, then go ahead and use that to estimate if the household is ineligible due to age. Otherwise, use the age ranges question that we just talked about to estimate the same thing. So in practice, this means that we can often quickly estimate if someone is disqualified based on age as early as possible during the screening. In other words, before we know the details about each individual member of the household. So yeah, in the interest of time, that's a lightning quick way, simplified peek into our code. And there are a lot of ways in which we'd like to improve, including transforming these kinds of rules into building blocks that can be assembled by benefit experts who are technically savvy, not necessarily trained software engineers. And feel free to ask me questions or Daniel questions about any of that. Back to you.
All right, we just wanted to close out by sharing a little bit of where we're headed. We're very interested in standardization and figuring out ways to be more transparent with other organizations and actually within our own organization about the rules. We're kicking off a major replatforming effort right now. So we're very interested in any off-the-shelf technologies that people are using. In general, and for anything about rules engines, workflow automation, form design. So we work with a lot of different organizations, and we would love to talk with you. So I'll end it there and open up for questions.
Thank you both so much, and the BDT, for sharing their work with us. As you said, we'll open it up to the audience to ask any questions or share any comments that were sparked during this demo. Continue dropping your questions into the chat, and I'll open it up with a question from Margaret Thorpe, who said, "This is so powerful. Can you talk a bit about how you translate all of the different policies into code? How do you maintain that code as policies change, and who do you rely on as policy experts in this process?" A couple of questions.
Yeah, sure. I'll see if I can remember them all. But so first of all, we build relationships with state governments, and so often we're in close contact with the governments themselves, and they're sort of reviewing the kinds of things that we're creating and submitting to our governments. But the key piece within our organization are what we call our benefits process team. We have a team of specialists, and some of them are here on this call, who basically reverse engineers a lot of the guidelines for each of the benefits. So they're reading all the books, they're checking in with their contacts in local governments and state governments, and they're the ones who are both creating the initial requirements for the benefits that we build, and they're also updating the benefits as things change. They keep an eye out for all of the federal and state changes in terms of the constants that need to be updated. And we actually have an admin tool that allows them to change many of those on their own.
Thank you. Next question kind of ties into that. And it's from Kara from Emmerly. How simplified is your screening process? Do you choose to not include any more obscure eligibility criteria?
Say that question again. Do we choose to not
include any more obscure eligibility criteria? And how simplified is your screening process?
Yeah, so we have high-level screeners, which are our self-service screener and are the one that we use with social workers. And then we have our comprehensive screener. And for our comprehensive screener, we try to pretty much be as granular as we can be. And we have a lot of expertise in how to ask questions, because often there's a lot of challenges in helping people understand what this means or that means. So we sort of go both directions.
I'd also add that while we try to account for all of the obscure eligibility criteria, often there's, well, one feature of benefits launch is there's some flexibility built into the system. So if we find out about some new obscurity in a rule or that we aren't completely covering it with the rule, there's flexibility for our agents on the phone to work around that and apply people and sort of lean towards helping people when there's an obscure situation rather than locking them out.
Yeah, just to add, we get people to estimated eligibility. Ultimately, it's the state that is the authority on whether somebody's eligible for a benefit or not. So that's where some of that flexibility comes in.
Thank you. I have a couple of more questions. From Vicky, could you share what efforts, if any, does your team, excuse me, I'm sorry, I'm reading this question all wrong. Could you share what efforts, if any, does your team use to advocate for changes to policies that increase access, specifically focused on where you see folks struggling to enroll? And I can repeat that because I read it a little choppy.
Yeah, we have a whole policy group that studies policies, creates white papers, and actually does workshops for states and other interested parties. They work on things like Medicaid churn, where they're trying to keep people on benefits so that states don't have to go and try to re-enroll them from scratch. We also have a whole program where we work on texting, where we found that if you just text reminders to people, that actually increases enrollment. But we're always looking for ways to find harder to reach people. Texting programs assume that people have mobile phones and they're accessible that way. So we are always looking for better ways to outreach, and that's part of what our screeners are about. We're exploring how we can integrate with social workers, with healthcare institutions who have access to people in need, who might not be the ones who go and apply on their own.
Now we have one more question, which is a pretty simple question, but Margaret's interested in how large is the benefits process team?
Currently, I think we have two experts and one manager, and they are kept 100% busy. We've been up to 4 people total at times as well.
Thank you. And then what happens after the screening? Do you feed that information into the full application?
Yeah, that's a great question. So what I showed you was just the initial part of the end-to-end process, where we screen somebody to see whether they're likely eligible. But after they're likely eligible, we actually take all the information that we collected, sometimes collecting a few more pieces of information, and then go and apply those individuals for all those benefits on their behalf. Some of that is done by batch processing, but that's actually a relatively small amount of what we do. A lot of it is done fairly manually, where people are filling out online applications on behalf of the clients.
Awesome, thank you. And then I'm gonna put these last two questions together for time's sake. But who did you build the comprehensive screener for? Case managers or other roles? And is this available for free for consumers on your website?
It's mainly for the people in our contact center, our benefit launch product. We have also done some experimentation with social workers and caseworkers at community-based organizations. And we do have a self-service screener called Benefit Launch Express. And I can put that URL in the documents that's shared if people want to go check that out.